What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Hollywood Already Did It, your movie podcast for sequels, remakes, reboots, adaptations, stories we tell time and time again, and trying to figure out why we keep coming back to these wells. As always, I'm your host, Blake Schultz, and with me is Terrence Tatum.
Hello, everyone.
And we are talking today about the 30 something ish MCU movie, the fourth Tom Holland Spider Man movie, and the what does that make that? Three, five, eight, ninth Spider Man live action movie, 11th if we count the Spider Verse movies, which we should
Which
because
we
they're
should.
amazing.
Yes.
So many. They're all here. But yes, it is time for Spider Man, Brand New Day. Easily one of the most anticipated movies of the summer, probably of the MCU right now. Uh, some of the biggest hype for this movie ever since the last one. I would say from a original, wherever the last one left off, to here, probably the most like we need to know what happens next with this character.
Correct.
When we
Correct.
last left our heroes and Spider-Man wiped himself from existence and then erased everything, giving us an incredibly emotional moment with him and MJ. And one of the coolest suits at the end, and the fun winter web swinging, and
Which is fun. Yeah.
I think that was a moment that everybody sort of was like, "Oh, we're finally here. We're
We're
sort
do
of
we're doing it. We're
we spent
giving the reset to him of him not being Tony Stark Jr. and kind of like, all right, here you go. You're New York
yeah,
on your own.
we're done with like well, there's some tech help, but the way he had it before, we don't have the Avengers. We're in the small studio apartment. I feel bad for Spider-Man because we all like him better sad. We just don't want
He
him
works
happy.
much better being, yeah, he works much better that way.
It is yeah, so now we're here with all of the characters. We have Hulk, we have Punisher. I think a big worry about the movie was, are we going to give him his own movie or are we going
But
to now have him on
hijack it.
the yeah. And if we do give him his own movie, it is sort of hijacked by the
It
Punisher. He
does.
steals
It
this whole
does.
movie. He's
It
every
does.
scene he's in, you want more.
Yeah.
But let's get into it. What are your overall thoughts on Spider-Man Brand New Day?
So let me give you two. I saw this. My first thing is I saw this in ScreenX, which is not a format that I particularly have loved previous times. I saw Mortal Kombat there, and I've seen another film there. But usually, the extension of the screen comes in like some poor CGI, AI stuff to sort of fill in the gaps, and it looks terrible. But I heard that this one had shots that were filmed specifically for the ScreenX experience. So I was like, all right, we'll give it one more shot. Holy shit. That was amazing.
Really?
It was phenomenal, Blake. I kid you not. Like I felt immersed the whole time. I'd say because sometimes the screen cuts off when
Right.
it's non-screen X. I'd say 80 to 85% of the movie is with the screens on and shot that way.
Inter-
All
what
action
did
sequences are
they
done with the Screen X experience. So
so what did
anytime a foot swings out or one of the hands swings out, it's all on there. Like any New York's landscape, it's as he's swinging, it's moving in conjunction with him swinging through the space. It's mind blowing how well it's done when it's done correctly and shot with that in mind. I cannot recommend enough. If you have a Screen X experience near you, you should. If you're going to go back to rewatch this, you should do so.
and is it then also like the 40X where you're like shaking and rocking and they're
No,
like
it's
spraying you with
literally just
water or
no, because
whatever?
I don't
Okay.
I don't want that either. And from my understanding, because like they have 3D Screen X and non 3D. I saw it in non 3D. I hear the 3D one is awesome, which my mind might
I
go back to go
bet.
see it,
Yeah.
but man, I was like, this is what this format is used for. And now I see why it exists. So that's that. The
And it
film
was never
itself,
distracting at all. You were never
never.
like, I have to go look to
I
the
never look like
left
I
to
gotta
see
look at this screen. I
something.
gotta look at this
Okay.
screen. It's one of those ones where like I'm looking dead on, but the peripheral stuff is happening. It's kind of just like, oh, I'm kind of like in a almost like a VR situation, just a bigger form, but like it's happening around me the whole time. That jail sequence at the end with him with the hand is like chef's kiss. It's brilliantly shot and with that usage. So that's one thing. The film itself, I've had a weird thing with the Tom Holland films. I've always walked out of them like, oh, I had a good time. He's a great Spider-Man, but I have never felt 100% emotionally connected to what the films were giving me. I never got there. I got a little bit of it with No Way Home, but I also feel like that was cheap heat and that a lot of that was coming from experiences that I had with these characters with a different Peter Parker, not with this one, and so we were sort of
Yeah, you were
shoehorning it
going
in with
on you
ours.
were going on the same first date with a different girlfriend.
Exactly, exactly. So it wasn't as earned. Whereas this one, from the moment this movie starts to the moment this movie ends, it gut punches me and does the things that I when I read Spider-Man as a kid or when I watched the animated series, like I got those feelings there. Um, him being lonely is just where the sweet spot is
Yeah.
in for him. And you kind of have this character who has to do all the Spider-Man things, and the world loves him as Spider-Man, and then no one gives a rat's ass about him as Peter Parker. And the only sort of connection that he has is on a phone with a person who's never ever seen them. Like that, I love that detective connection that he has in this movie. Um, to sort of show over the course of these years, I formed this relationship, but it's still very afar. And I don't know your kids' names. You don't know me. Like this is just
Right.
who we are with this relationship that we have. And I like that this movie then becomes sort of this weird whodunit crime drama for a while. And I like that. And I dug that. And the stuff that he has with Frank is the Punisher, who people are watching. I have Frank behind me. I'm a huge Punisher fan. I'm not really ever afraid now of Punisher sort of going into this world of PG-13 because he there's way more swearing in this film than any other Spider-Man movie just because you
Yeah,
have
they
Frank.
really pushed that
They did. They
PG-13. Every
did.
now and then I was like, I don't know all the rules. I know they get like one
Like, but these shits are
F-bomb,
flying
but there
quite
is a
regularly.
lot. Yeah.
Um, but I like it. They have a brother relationship that I had not seen, and it's very different. You could tell that because Frank has been so lonely in his life and he knows what that feels like, he doesn't want that for Peter. He's like, hey, you don't have to be me. Like you can clearly see by this place that I've created with all these traps. I'm nuts. Don't be like me.
Well,
That's a
yeah,
fascinating story to have.
you get what is, and I mean, I full spoilers, I suppose. But you get probably one of the best Punisher moments in this movie where he's like, "Oh, I'm just like you, Frank," and John Berthnall continuously proving why he's an amazing actor
Yeah.
gives one of his best monologues of like, "No, no, no, we're not the same
Right. Right.
because you still have people you care about,
Correct.
and you're being a coward." And
Right.
if anyone I knew was alive, and if anyone I cared about
I
was
would
still
hold on to
around,
them for
I
dear
wouldn't
life.
be doing any of this,
Correct.
which is
Yeah.
like, this is a sentence, is what he says. He's like,
You
this is
put, yeah.
my like punishment, which
You
is,
don't have to live like me.
it's very depressing and very awesome. There was a part of me that's like, but Karen likes you. Daredevil likes
You
you.
keep pushing that poor redhead away. You pushed him back to this blind man.
Yeah, there are people out there that you vibe with, and I get it. Daredevil's kind of hard to be around. It was nice to see him in a lighter tone. I love the Daredevil show, and I love Punisher there, but like every single moment of that show is so like, oh my God, am I
Oh,
doing the right
dark.
thing? I have
Yeah.
to go to church again and ask for forgiveness, but then I
And to
also have to go
see
beat this
Frank in
person
a
to death.
lighter moment, the sequence that he has with one, it's great. This we'll get into Banner, but the shot that he has with Hulk when when Spider-Man's pulling him and he's just shooting underneath is brilliantly shot. It looks
What an awesome.
stunning. But just that
I
whole
don't
sequence is like, hey, I'm gonna go do this and you go do that. He's like, well, do you want me to go do this because you don't want to deal with the Hulk? Absolutely.
kind of,
Yes.
yeah. Yeah, I definitely saw that, grabbed him by the webs, dragged him, and he's shooting up. And I immediately was like, that's the Marvel Rivals team up I want. I want
Hmm.
Spider-Man to web Frank and him shoot
And just
people. That
dragging
would,
him while he's shooting up
yes,
screaming.
this is
Yes.
what I want. Let's get a
Yeah.
really, really annoying team up out of this movie. Let's do that.
Um, it's we get some Hulk. And I think that character, I think a lot of people will be happy with what happened with Banner in this film because I think a lot of people have been asking to get the less educated and smart Hulk and get the wild, like I'm gonna beat everybody's ass Hulk. And he's back. Um, and he comes back with a vengeance. And I love that this movie, we talked about a little bit off mic, does a lot of things where it shows, but it doesn't always overly explain what's happening. And it was clear to me, and I don't know if it was clear to the audience, is that like Banner and Smart Hulk don't know who the hell Peter Parker is. Like it's no brain, like they don't know who that person is. But when he turns into Savage Hulk and just starts going crazy, and when the only thing that saves Spider-Man, because he is getting his ass destroyed, the only thing that saves him is like, hey, we were buddies. I'm Peter Parker under this mask. And Wild Hulk knows him. So, like he pauses for a moment, like, oh crap, wait.
And his
I
eyes like dilate.
Right. And it's clear that like that spell that Strange had didn't affect the Savage Hulk because he wasn't around when the spell was cast. And that I don't know if that's clear, but it works and it comes off so beautifully. Like he's like, oh, well, then I need to back down. Like you,
Yeah,
I do care about you.
he just drops himself off
Yeah,
that building.
yeah.
Um, yeah, I think I understood it. It makes a lot of sense. It works really well. It's really well directed and really well acted. All of that being said, I would have liked,
A
if only
sound,
because it's from the comics, I would
a
have liked
sound.
Hulk
Yeah,
Remembers. Banner
yeah.
forget because we go through a moment before that I loved where he's like Banner's in his he's transforming, he's morphing, he's doing the like go away, go away, go away, and you get the like no Banner, no girl, only
Just
Hulk. So
Hulk.
you
Yeah,
have this moment of like the girl's not in here, Banner's
yeah.
gone,
This is
I'm
all me.
here. And I think that would have been then a fun moment of having a like Hulk remembers and drops.
And I just love this part. It's
Um,
like, I didn't realize you could get that big. I've not seen
I
this.
also love the just like webs like digging into Hulk and just
That
having that
shot
like
of
that
him wrapping him around.
visceral
Yeah,
texture of it. Like a part of me's like, oh my God, that would hurt so much.
yeah.
And it also, I think, shows Spider-Man's strength, right? Like there's so many moments in the comics and in the cartoons and in some of the movies of Spider-Man's always pulling his punches. And it is
Hmm.
a rare moment, and we get a lot of them in the movie as we kind of go through his journey of
Journey
the
to,
arachnid
yeah.
DNA, where he can kind of just be like, I have to go as hard
I
as
gotta
I can.
unleash. Yeah. And that's one of
Um,
those ones where he kept telling Frank, like, stop shooting him. It's a real person in there. Let me handle this because I can at least be trying to hit him and calm him down without like hurting him necessarily. Um, I do think I mean, we've been spoiling it anyway, but super spoilers at this point. And I have a feeling that in a week they're going to tell it anyway. But Sadie Sink is the lead villain, if you will, of this film. Although I would actually think it's control more than it is her.
yeah, I think they do a good job of
And
having
they're
your third
do
act.
and they're doing a good job of making damage control sort of the new arching villain throughout the street level side of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. But Sadie is Jean Grey. Cat's out of the bag. That's who she is. And it's funny.
A
I feel
twist
like
no one saw coming.
no one knew. Um, but it still works. And I think what's interesting, I did not realize how many people did not know that Jean Grey is a very gray area character. And that without Charles, even with Charles, she does some things in comics that are very shady. And that go back and forth of the line of should you be doing this or should you not?
And to
And
be
so a lot of
fair, so does Charles.
yes.
Like,
And so it's funny that a lot of people have not a lot because we'll get into the box office, but some people have taken a sort of a pushback to Jean being as violent as she is or as dangerous as she is with some of the mind games. I don't have an issue with it because I don't think A, she's young. She's like a teenager, 19-ish in this film, but she also hasn't gotten to that school yet. And so there's a lot of things that she has not learned, and she's a woman who's angry because we learn that in this film, her sister has been taken by damage control basically for shits and giggles for experiments to
right.
see where
Yeah.
she is. And she has no idea where she is because her sister sort of mind tricks her on a last gasp after being shot
Oh,
with a
that's
dart.
also a brutal.
Brutal. And sort of just she wakes up and has no idea, has no clues. And so she's going through this. And so a lot of Jean's arc is her going after damage control. She's been trying multiple times to go after damage control. And so her beef with Spider-Man comes when Spider-Man sort of aligns himself with damage control and becomes kind of like the resident bodyguard of them by keep. And so she's doing everything possible to shut him down. And then when she realizes she can't jump into his brain like anyone else, she then's like, I got to figure this dude out to get him off the board. And so she starts doing some things that are way less on the up and up than I think anybody would want to see. One of them, the one that keeps getting the most is like the laying back with the guy and getting hit, the older man getting hit by the taxi. People
That
are like,
was
oh, she
pretty
killed that
intense.
man.
Yeah, that dude's dead.
Here's the thing. I don't know if he's dead. The only reason why I don't know if he's dead because I feel like Spider-Man would have reacted. That's my only. I was like Spider-Man would have been
Yeah,
like, oh crap, that I she killed somebody, so he's going to go after her differently because she's murdering people, and his Spidey sense was like, I got to get this guy to a hospital, like, and because that didn't happen, I that he immediately was like, I just got to keep going towards finding MJ. He wouldn't have done that if that guy
I
died.
also kind of was like the guy in the helicopter's dead too.
Yeah,
The only way that that's gonna mind jump is she's gonna get out of that helicopter.
cor
Like there's
yeah,
this.
correct.
That
Or
was also my like,
he
oh,
doesn't know that
Spidey,
she can just reset back to her brain, like to
that
herself. So
too.
it's easily for like while you have her up there, she has nobody to jump to. She then just has to resort back to her, and it's probably faster wherever she's at to then just start jumping and getting to MJ quicker. Again, she called him a simple Spider-Man, Spidey a lot. He's not. He's very. I mean, he is. He's very much a simple Spider. But the scene that just there's a couple of emotional scenes that gut punch me, but that rooftop scene with MJ and him, where he thinks he's gotten her back and his
Oh
memories back, and
God.
she kisses her as Gene, you are dirty, you are a dirty one
Hold
on
her
that.
tight and don't let go.
I was just like, Jesus, you are ruthless.
Yeah, you could have convinced me that we're already doing like the Dark Phoenix, and I would have been
Yeah.
like, oh yeah, this all
Oh yeah.
tracks.
Yeah, this is on brand for her, guys. Like I get this. But then to know that is a lot of her just being once we don't have the reveal of her sister part until after that. And once we get that, you're like, okay, while it doesn't excuse everything that you've done, I can see why you're using all of your powers the way that you can to figure out where my sister is. And be damned of who it hurts or who it does. I just need to make sure that my sister's okay. And then when she finds out that her sister's not okay and her sister's gone, well, all bets are off.
Right.
And so her power starts growing more, get to the point where like, oh yeah, we need somebody needs to talk to this girl because this is getting insane. But I there's two scenes that made me like I cried. Damn it. One was the when Parker returns back to Frank's home and MJ's read the letter and he pours out his heart and it's like, I love you. And she's just like, yeah, I I
So
don't
I
love
don't
you.
know you.
Right. Like you, I don't know who the hell you are. Um,
uh,
and it's so well, they're both acting their asses off in that scene. You can see he just poured out all of his heart. Everything that has happened, him watching all those videos from MIT all this time, he just poured that out right now. Like, I love you. She's like, I don't, and she even refers to this like the girl on that letter is someone else. That wasn't me. And I was like, that is
it's
so well done.
it's very reminiscent, and I've already seen a lot of people make the comparison of Gamora and Peter Quill's I
It
Bet
is.
We Were Fun.
Yeah.
And it's very interesting because I like the conversation I'm seeing of like which one of these is like harder. And I'm like, well, technically, that Gamora is an entirely different variant, pulled out, never went through
Correct.
this.
This
This
is the
is the
same
same
person.
MJ,
She just
and
doesn't know that.
Peter did, yeah. And Peter
Yeah.
made a choice that
And
basically
he
was
did
like,
something on
I'm
her. Right. Because she's even
gonna
coming
do
at him from a
this.
mass point. Like, you didn't give me the opportunity. Like, you didn't give me that
Yeah,
choice. You took that from me.
from
Um,
everybody, from the
correct.
entire, from everyone.
Yeah.
So I think that one's harder. I also kind of think MJ's right in it. Like, it is an interesting thing of like, yeah, yeah, I read this note. You brought me to the Punisher's warehouse after I was mind controlled.
You keep
And then
trying
I
to say
read a
you're
note
saving
that
me, but
you,
like, I keep being in danger.
why am I involved in
I've
this?
I've
Oh,
almost
I'm
died
involved in this
four
because
times in the last
somebody,
48 hours.
yeah, because you're so sloppy with your secrets that once again, like you've kept this note for 4 years in the
Right.
same coffee cup. If anyone got into your apartment, and by the way,
Which they
they
do.
did, they will
Right.
find all of this. Like
Yeah.
it wasn't even the telepathy that did it. It is just
No.
like, oh, Jean Grey did like detective work and was like,
Right.
oh, cool. Now
Yeah.
I
She
know what
just
to
followed
do.
you and was like, oh, this is the guy.
Like,
Yeah.
Peter, why are you bad at this? You went through a whole multiversal thing with Doctor Strange.
Yeah.
You went through this whole, like, it's the most important thing. You made a decision to not tell her. then you made a decision to give her a fake name at a party. Throw the note away.
The note should not be gone. Yeah. Especially don't have it on you when she's in the same place as you. Like
Well, I think that was a rush job, right? Because like Jean shows up
he had it
with her
from
weird
her.
butler person.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Um, yeah, but that scene that hits so hard. And it makes the scene it's such a it's so small, but like her then saying, "Hey, I need you to take me home." And then she kind of
Hilarious.
it's great. It's so uncomfortable.
I don't have a
Um,
car or a phone.
yeah.
That was a
Can
good
you
moment because I was like, so many people have been in these weird moments where you have
where
like a
like
breakup or
a
something,
breakup
and
and
then
you're
someone
like,
has to be like,
"Hey, can you drop me
hi.
off? Yeah, I don't you were my way here." Um, but then she gets back to the house and I what's happening and I love it. And people are like, is she or Ned starting to remember? It's like, no, there's something if you genuinely like somebody, even if your memories are gone, you're going to have an innate thing to sort of I connect with this person. I don't know why.
Right.
There's something that I have with this person. She felt comfortable enough, like, hey, do you want to come up? Like Ned's going to be here. He would love to meet you because I think you guys have a friendship. And I think she
Yeah.
saw that he was lonely and was like, hey, this might we're not going to jump back to square one. We're not going to be right back to be friends, but this might do you some good to have be around friends. And then so that whole meeting that they have was great. Like it's like, oh, they picked right back up where they were. It's just Ned doesn't know that this is Peter, know that he has a relationship. And her response when she says when Ned goes to go for a break, you should tell him. He can deal with it. And he's kind of
Yeah.
like, I know he can. I'm not there yet.
I don't
Like
want to do
I'm
this.
not there
Yeah.
yet. Yeah. um, and so when he leaves and she says, Peter, he answers her knowing that I'm gonna have to come back and deal with this at some point.
Right.
You just said my name, but fuck it. I'm not mad
There's
at it
not, we don't have
because
time for
I don't
this.
have time
Yeah.
for this. Correct. And so
It's
it's just a
very,
great
it's a quicker version of Spider-Man 2's there's bigger things happening than you and me
right.
right now, Harry. Like,
Yeah.
which I
Yeah.
always love a good Spider-Man scene where he's just like, hold that thought. Stuff's going on.
Some shit's happening. This girl's going crazy over here. Yeah, and so that I love that sequence as well. And then the Aunt May with Jean scene
Yeah.
is heartbreaking. And then to tie that in with with Spider-Man, Peter coming in and being like, "Hey, I know you feel alone." This whole movie is about everyone feeling like they're doing what they're doing, isolated with nobody around them. And Spider-Man's kind of like, look, you're not alone. I'm here with you. Like you've done some crazy shit to me, but I know what it is that you're going through, and you haven't had anybody here to sort of be that sort of sounding board. Your sister's gone. I get it. I'm here. So if you need me, we can. I will be here, and I will be that beacon for you until we figure out where we can place you. Maybe at a school for gifted youngsters. Um, but then what I think people are missing, which is why I was like, I feel like Gene should get more of the reprieve of this. Frank being himself, I'm gonna kill everybody. I'm gonna kill this
Oh,
fucking teenage kid.
by
I'm
the
gonna
way,
murder this
yeah.
kid.
Now we know that Frank will kill children, which
I'm
I
going to
thought was one
murder
of
this
his
child.
rules.
Right. I was like, I'm gonna
That
murder
was
this child.
definitely a moment where I was like, man, we're really edging that PG-13 rating. And I thought Frank's whole moral code was like not
I
these
don't kill
people, but
kids,
he
but
is
he's
now
like,
just like,
if this kid happens to be a mutant, all bets are
I'm
off.
gonna
I
kill
will
this
shoot
kid.
them. I will shoot this child. But like he takes the bullet and is shooting him. Spidey does the thing, the
We get
heroic
our
thing, and
ultimate Spider-Man moment.
protects her. And Jean essentially puts her life force onto Peter and is breathing for him until he can get back and heal. And it's not that clear, but if you are paying attention to the clues, she puts her hands on him and starts breathing for him. And then she doesn't leave his area until she doesn't get on that bus and leave until he starts breathing on his own again. So the
Yeah.
whole reason Jean like Spider-Man is even alive is because Jean has kept him on whatever sort of weird, like even Frank says it's like she was doing some weird voodoo stuff that was keeping
Yeah.
you alive. That's an important piece of this. Like Jean may have done a lot of awful things. And I don't think like again, I don't feel like she's killed anybody, but she also kept Spidey alive. And that's enough for me to be like, yes, she's a very conflicted
Yeah.
character, which most X-Men are. You're going to have to get used to that audience because this is going to be happening a lot more with these
Also,
X-Men.
all of them have killed people.
Correct.
Just
Absolutely.
I don't know what to tell you.
Absolutely.
That was the whole point of like the
Yeah.
Battle of Sokovia and Civil War. And
Iron Man made weapons of mass destruction. There are
yeah,
people who died on this
yeah.
watch.
There are so many, like half of the Infinity Saga was just people being like, well, a lot of innocent people are hurt now.
Yeah.
Kind of the whole. Now it is annoying that we do keep doing that with Scarlet Witch and Jean, and like only the women seem to have the character of like, oh my god, I killed all these innocent people by
Especially
accident.
because they always make them like the women who then have like uncontrollable like powers that are so big that
Yeah,
their emotions get into controls. Like that's a dangerous
I guess
slope to keep
Hulk
going down.
does
Yeah,
as well.
that's
I guess
true.
Hulk, but
Yeah,
and then there's plenty of other Charles. You know, half of Logan is just him being
correct.
like, oops, I used my powers, and everyone's gone.
Yeah,
Um, yeah, all of those things.
but
No, I agree. I loved the movie from, I mean, they got me from the jump. Just kind of seeing all of the like covers come to life, getting
yeah,
Amazing Fantasy. I don't know all the issue ones, but the Boomerang cover,
hmm
the small bit we got with Tombstone,
was great.
where I was awesome, and I was like, I want all of this again. Even the hand, I was like, well, I know we all wanted this to be more. I also still want it to be more.
Yeah,
I think that is the weird thing that this movie did so well, similar to Fantastic Four. And I think it's interesting that we now have two movies that have done
that
this.
kind of just
We're
like
going to establish it by ripping
this
apart the
world exists and we're going to
D-listers.
go through it. Yeah, I mean, and I feel like they do it a little bit better. I think because we know Spider-Man already, it's easier to sort of just be like, hey, this is what he's been doing in this sort of interim time. Whereas with Fantastic Four, we hadn't seen those characters, so it's kind of like
Right.
a this is a
It feels
speed
like a
through.
PSA. It feels like you're
Right.
in like a
Yeah.
Disneyland ride of like, there were
Yeah.
heroes once, and they fought the mole man and still man.
Exactly.
Don't you worry,
Exactly.
they're here
Whereas
today.
I think here it felt a little bit more lived in because we had, and one of them, Scorpion, we had seen before, so we kind of like, oh yeah,
Right.
he's been established. We got this sort of
I
run.
do want him to have a whole. I do want
Yeah.
more. We spent a
He's still,
long time waiting for
yeah.
Scorpion
And
just
he
for like
shows
three
up.
scenes of
Correct.
that.
Yeah.
Would have liked more of him, but such is life. But I
Yeah.
agree, and I think this was definitely one. You said it earlier about kind of the Tom Holland movies and the connection, and that was sort of my gripe with both Homecoming and Far From Home, where I kind
hmm
of was like, Peter's a little too Spider-Man's. It's fun to be
Yeah.
Spider-Man and then plucky, and which is part of his character. But I was like, man, we really don't have the weight of Uncle Ben and the burden of the responsibility, which we get in No Way Home
hmm
from Aunt May
That I
and
made that.
And
Yeah.
Goblin and everything
hmm
else. And watching that now come to this extreme of him on the phone with DeWolf and him and even her being like, dude, you got to take a break. And he's like, we're friends. You don't even know my kids' names.
Right.
Like, we're barely work connections.
Correct.
And kind of starting his arc in this place of like, not only does no one remember you and the city loves Spider Man, but you have become a machine and it's
hmm
going to break you.
And
Like,
you're
even,
so different because Spider-Man gets the key to the city. You're washing your outfit in a in a washing machine in a broken down,
right,
dilapidated apartment.
in an asbestos filled attic
Right.
of an apartment. Um, so I thought that was a really good place to start him because I do agree. I like it's so unfortunate because like the running joke at the comics is like, why can't we let Spider-Man win?
Be happy.
And
Yeah.
this whole movie was like, I'm really glad that Spider-Man's not winning.
Good thing that he's having a rough time because this
Oh,
is
finally,
good
he's
video.
sad. Oh God, it's just so much better. It's like if when a friend of yours stops drinking and you're like, you know, it was more fun though.
I feel like you should take a drink.
Yeah, really, I get it. You're healthy,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
don't. That's a joke. You
Don't
should
do
not.
that. Yes.
Don't do that. Um, but I liked that a lot, and I think you got to then see more of Tom Holland's acting chops because of
Correct.
that, where he gets to kind of
Correct.
go through all of these different ranges of emotions and these beats that we didn't get to see in the other ones. Whether it's him like being stressed out with Evie or like just angry at everybody and getting the almost man spider arachnid DNA kind of up stuff was
hmm
I thought, clever way of taking what we could do with some of the black suit Spider-Man, but
Yeah.
not doing black suit Spider-Man. Because we did get those moments of him kind of being pissed off or having the oversensory and trying to
hmm
figure out the math by himself. So I enjoyed a lot of that. I do think it's funny that that led to him creating what will probably be the mutant
The
inhibitor
X-Men,
chip.
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
I was like, Spidey,
yeah,
you are doing a bad thing right now. This is
yeah.
not going to
No,
go well.
you definitely should have listened to Dr. Banner and not done that. Like, and not,
Yeah, that whole speech he had was like with Banner was like, "Hey, what makes you decide what's the good things and the bad things?" It's like, "Oh, this is mutant. This is all mutant related." Like Spidey, you're about to go do a bad thing. Don't do it. And the fact that Metzger gets away with having prototypes of that around, I'm like, "Oh
yeah.
boy."
Okay, yeah. We're gonna build a Sentinel, and he is gonna still be Iron Man Jr. in the sense that he keeps making the thing that we have to go fight.
Yeah.
That's gonna be very very fun to deal with later. But I thought they did such a good job of him and Banner stuff that I wanted one more scene with Banner at the
I
end.
did
I
too.
wanted something to close that off because he has that kind of going away with like, did I hurt anybody? What did I do? Oh no.
Mhm.
And I also kind of got similar to Ned and MJ when he walks away and Banner has that look. It almost feels like everybody has a like deja vu of
There's
Peter.
something in there.
That
Yeah,
the spell isn't that strong because
it
even
feels
Banner
like
kind
that
of had
happens
this
with
like,
MJ. Yeah. Like, have we been around somewhere? Like, do I know you? Like, what is this? And some of that might for Banner might be because the deep version of Hulk inside of him does have that memory, so it's kind of probably pulling that away, pulling that up. But it's even with like the Ned stuff at the end when he does the handshake. Like, I feel like that's a muscle memory for Ned that he has that handshake. He just doesn't. He didn't have Peter to be the one to sort of finish that off with him.
yeah.
But in him, he may have given that handshake to somebody else. But the fact that he had that handshake and then Peter also had the handshake. It's sort of all kind of connected. It's like, oh, this feels right. There's something here. I'm missing those things, but I get it now.
Which then makes me wonder people can, in theory, get their memories of Peter back and the multiverse doesn't break still?
It doesn't feel like it
Or
has a breaking effect on that. Um,
or is that what the post-credit scene is implying? Because the last scene of the movie is the handshake with Ned,
right.
and he goes, Peter, and everyone kind of smiles, and you're like, oh my God. And then our post-credit scene is I loved it. I thought the
I
having
loved it
just the
too. It's
spider
very
tracker
cute.
go
It's
out to
very smart.
space.
It's a cute way of doing that.
And it's a
Putting
great way of
him
having of not making a promise that we might not keep
correct,
because you can
correct.
kind
Because
of
we
do
don't
whatever you
know,
want.
like Spidey can show up
Like,
wherever we want him to, and we haven't sort of put ourselves in a hole yet. I read the Ned scene more as because because he got the Peter name earlier when he flew out the window. I didn't get that as him sort of remembering it. I got him
oh,
as saying because he when he comes up to him, he originally is like, "Hey, you're the flower dude from the party. I remember you." And like he throws into him, um, "Hi, I'm actually my name's actually Peter." And at that moment, it doesn't click. And then when he does the handshake, he then's like, "Wait, this feels really." This feels as good as it did with the Spider-Man that was in my room. Like, felt like this. Oh, Peter. So I don't think it was like him getting his
oh, I
memory
thought
back.
it
I
was his
think it was
memory
him.
drawback
I felt it read it as him connecting to like, oh, I connected to the Spider-Man Peter just the way that I just did with you. And like, so I still don't think he has all of those back memories. I just think he put the two and two together with Spider-Man in my apartment. I heard the name Peter. Then when I threw out Peter, because that's what he was trying to do. He was trying to get him to understand, like, hey, I'm Peter
right.
in the Spider-Man uniform. He didn't get it originally, and then when the handshake came, that's when it clicked, like, oh, you're Spider-Man. And that's when that sort of came.
Interesting. That's going to raise
Yeah.
so many fun questions for Ned of like, why didn't he live here? I assume then he's going to tell him anyways. That's
I feel like he's
probably
going
the
to give
next
him
scene.
catch him up with yeah, like where he did
Okay.
end it.
Because I definitely read it as like, oh, they did the handshake and that was enough
And that was
to
like a click, like a
like the
relic or something that like
memories.
you brought this brought me back to. I didn't get that. I got it as like that was a muscle memory piece. And because I know you're Peter and we connected so cool a second ago when you were in the Spider-Man uniform, you're Spider-Man.
Because
I
then
got
you
it
do
now.
also have like MJ on the roof with the
She goes back,
token.
and I think now we don't get a full read of that letter, but I think that them being on the rooftop is mentioned in that letter
Right.
because they mentioned. So I think she's just going back to the place where because they
You
even
just
mentioned
wrote
in
down all
the
the best memories together.
because they even
Here
mentioned
are my
in the
top
movie
five.
that in the version that they remember. it was Ned and her on the rooftops of the high school always talking about MIT, and like Peter was just kind of not in that sequence. But then I think in that letter it brought it back up. So I feel like she was going there to kind of put in the pieces and try to remember stuff. Like I don't
Interesting.
think either of them were actually remembering. I think that they were trying to, and there's something in them told them to like I connect to this or I need to go back to this house. It's kind of like when you have to your point deja vu or something in your brain's like I feel like I've done this before, but I can't quite remember. I think that's what was happening with them.
Mm, yeah, because that post-credit scene then is interesting because
I
I immediately when I left was like Venom, that it's going to be, and I know a lot of people are like, well, the symbiote wouldn't pick up Spider-Man if it's coming, and I was like, I think we forget that at the end of No Way Home, there's a
there's a
symbiote piece that
symbiote piece that's
remains in
there.
our
Yeah.
world. I don't know how that would have got into space. I don't know how it would have happened. It seems like it's plausible that that went
Hmm.
there, and we know from other, tags of Venom licking the TV, and
Yes. He's
so
aware of this
it
Spider-Man. Yeah.
seems possible to me that it is that little chunk somehow got over there. Because we
Yeah.
didn't get our Spider-Man will return in. We just got Spider-Man will
And
return.
will return. We don't say where. Yeah.
I definitely don't think it's Miles. I don't think that makes sense to bring
No.
him in that way.
No.
I think it either has to be. I oddly also was like maybe Spider-Man 2099. Maybe we are going to do some
Like jump
other
ahead and
multiversal
oh yeah.
shenanigan because I don't know. I don't know if we're going to try to connect this to Spider Verse, but we
It
do know
sounds
MCU wise, it's just
yeah.
Avengers and Doomsday and Secret Wars that's coming.
From what I've heard with Kevin, because Kevin and Amy have been going on these rounds together, it sounds like we will eventually get a Miles in the MCU. It just sounds like it's not going to occur until after the Spider-Verse trilogy ends. Then they
Right.
will subsequently put in there, which sure. I actually kind of thought this might just be mistakes. I sort of thought that the kid that was on the shoulders when he came out of the
I
hospital
also was like, that's
was like,
Miles.
that's about the age appropriate person to be Miles. Yeah.
Well, you remember how we retroactively decided that that kid in Iron Man 2 was Peter Parker.
Yeah.
A part of me was like, we're about to retroactively decide that this is Miles Morales in a few
Yeah.
years. Like that's what we're gonna
Yeah.
do. Now we're doing it on purpose.
Right.
But I very much had that moment of like, oh, that's gonna be Miles. Got
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it would be interesting how they're going to do that because they could very easily just be like Secret Wars, Battle Worlds. Oh, the incursions. We're going to
Hmm.
do it the way we did in the comics, where we merge the
Bring
universes
him.
together and
Correct.
pop Miles over. We
Yeah.
could introduce Miles in our current MCU. We have Donald Glover who makes the comment in Homecoming of
Yeah.
like, I don't want these guns here. I got a nephew who lives around. So there is technically a Miles somewhere in there. Uh, it could also be, I guess we are going to 86 that, but I was like, well, maybe if Ned remembers that's the multiverse spell breaking and that's Toby or Andrew
Mm,
that zapping in. It could also very easily just be implying that like we don't know when this is. Maybe Spider-Man went
yeah.
to space. Peter could be
Correct.
going up, flying up to go do stuff with the
Like
Avengers.
it's not like you're right. It's like it's not like he hasn't been in space before. Yeah.
Right. I
Or
did also enjoy.
he could be doing big potato stuff with Yelena because we didn't mention
I was
Yelena, but
gonna say we haven't got into that yet.
yeah.
That might have been the most pleasant surprise in the movie. I think that
Yeah.
was the
That
one
one I
that
didn't.
wasn't spoiled for
Yeah.
me.
Same.
It wasn't really overdone. Obviously, the hot tub jacuzzi scene is amazing.
It's funny.
The
It's
only
good.
unrealistic part of that is if Florence Pugh had been like, "Take all of your things off and get in this tub," I would have been like, "Of course, this is what we're doing today."
That's what I was like. You don't have to jumping in immediately. Let's go.
Yeah, I enjoyed. Yeah, that was all great. I like that this is now the second time that Spider-Man's been told that his movie is like, oh no, the Avengers do other stuff.
You do the little potato stuff.
And
I
kind of both times they were incorrect.
was gonna say Hulk smashing through a building like that and Jean Grey like taking over the world is kind of a big potato.
It is also a shame that now in I don't know the span of a few years that New York has gone through Century and then Jean Grey doing Mind stuff. There's got to be like three people who have had both of those things
I've gone
happen to
through
them.
all of it. Right, they just keep getting like Jesus. Well, I'm
There's
just
got to
staying
be.
home.
That's the Disney show I want. I want the one guy who is like, I was in the Century Void and then I was in the Jean Grey Ellis Island thing, and I'm just so tired.
I am
Like,
tired.
uh, um, yeah, yeah, I really liked seeing her. It's another moment of somebody just being like, "Oh, good, Peter has friends. I don't even care that these people are watching me in my office."
Yeah.
It's good to know that the new Avengers are busy and that Sam's Avengers haven't like stolen it.
Right. It's fun because I think even though he's not a teen anymore, it's fun that like everybody knows like, hey, Spider-Man, there's a kid in there. And I want him to not, you got to go live a life, kid. You can't just be lonely all the time. And it's great
Yeah.
because Yelena just had her whole thing of being lonely in her whole movie. She's like, look, I get where I'm going. I just need you should have a friend. Someone should care about you.
And I think that's kind of where, when we talk about the like, why is it relevant? Why are we doing this again? There are still so many conversations in like a post-COVID world of like loneliness and isolation and men being lonely and women being lonely and
Hmm.
people feeling alone. And I thought the movie did a really good job. So did Thunderbolts of being like, you have to go find your people.
Yeah.
And I think where this movie did it differently is you really got the burnout and the arachnid DNA and the like, you're going to start not acting like yourself.
Hmm.
And you like kind of get over it. Like there was sort of a sense of like, come on, dude, you got shot in the back, you got stabbed by the hand, like just make a buddy.
Buck up. Yeah,
Like
just
when the
yeah.
when the Punisher tells you to make a friend, it's probably time to make a friend.
If you have Frank crying by your bedside, you got friends, bro. You got friends.
Yeah,
Like,
and I thought they did a good job of showing that even at the end of just him on the phone with DeWolf and being like, say hi to the kids and doing them by name and
and
showing
now he
that
knows their names. I'm
difference.
like, oh, he's grown. He has changed what he
Yeah.
was before. Yeah.
And he's got kind of Yelena working with her. Like there is a
Well,
sense of like, oh, I put all my
even
little things together.
even the change because like he could have just gotten the flowers, saw Ned, and just walked away. But at that moment, he thought, no, she's right.
It's
I
time
should tell
to,
Ned. I should
yeah.
tell Ned who I am. Like I want that. Like let me do that, and that's what that does. Yeah.
Well, I liked that that also kind of showed when he's playing Legos and they're referencing Lord of the Rings and like this is the most fun I've had, and she has that beat of like you guys really do look like best friends, and she shows the photo and
Hmm.
he's unmasked in it,
Yeah.
and I think that was also a good way for him to be like, oh right, like
I should have
I
this.
could have just been doing, I could have saved all of you and then rebuilt these
And
friendships. I
puts
could
it
have
right
done
back.
my
Like I didn't
original
have to
plan.
watch from afar. I could have just gone right to you.
Right.
And when I saw you at that coffee place, just be like, hey, read this. This is what happened. Yeah.
Well, that was, they also kind of get into the parasocial relationships that way of like so many people follow each other on Instagram and TikTok and everywhere. And are like,
I know
it's like
everything
we're
about
staying in
you.
touch. Yeah,
Right.
I know everything you're doing,
Yeah.
but I haven't talked to you in 5 years. And I thought they kind of did they kind of teased that a little of him just being like, no, no, I'm still here. I'm watching all these videos. I'm like commenting. This is the same thing as human connection. I'm going to sit here and talk to my chat GPT robot and then
Right.
go on Instagram and see my friends. This is human connection now. So
Fine.
I thought that was something we flirt with in other Spider-Man movies. Like he's never been this alone though. Like he's always
No.
been broke and poor and trying to balance his life. But even in Spider-Man 1 and 2, he has Harry and MJ and Aunt
Hmm.
May and Jay Jonah and the people of the Daily Planet, and even if those aren't the best,
Right.
they're there. And then throughout the Amazing Spider-Man movies, we kind of have the same thing with Gwen and everybody.
Mm.
And
Yeah.
he had a whole network for from Homecoming to No Way Home with Tony and
Hmm.
the Avengers and MJ and Ned, and really watching what that loneliness does to him was really great.
Yeah.
I did like that it also been conflated with this sense of like pick one.
Hmm.
And we've kind of watched him see what happens when he just picks Spider-Man and him finally being like, oh no, I'm both,
I'm
Gene.
both.
And then kind of
Yeah.
whew, the arachnid DNA
Just
come
take over.
in
Right.
and have one of the best action sequences in any of
Those
them.
that webbing is whew, that was
And it's
brilliant.
small, right? Because you think when he's that crazy, he's gonna like go nuts, but he saves that one hand member, and
From
the
getting
camera takes a
impaled.
deliberate point to show you
Right.
that pipe of like, oh, he could have just been like, you're out of here.
Right.
Um, and I think that's what makes this movie very unique. Is it's one of the few times where Peter isn't just talking about the struggle of balancing; he's sort of actively being like, no, 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 for this to work, I do need to do both. There is no world
Hmm.
where I can just be Peter. Because that was also the heartbreaking scene I don't think we talked about when Jean is like, that world's gone, Peter. Your friends are gone. Everything's over. This is who we are now. And damage control is going to kill us for being different. They built a
Yeah.
whole Spider Man defense system. what are we
They
doing
they
here?
have weapons specifically aimed for you in case you ever step out of line.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which a part of me was like, yeah, he did Civil War. He knows this.
Yeah.
Like I was almost waiting for him to be like, yeah, 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 I got it. You think I don't know that
That
everybody that I hang out
everybody's
with is going
aimed
to have a protocol to beat me? Like
correct.
I have a, it's almost a Batman Doom when he's just
Yeah.
like, oh, you don't have a method to be Batman? Then you're
Like
idiots.
then you're
I have
down.
a way to take
Yeah.
all of you down.
Correct.
If you
Because if you
know,
did,
Jean Grey mind controls you.
I was like, because if you did get in my brain, they are fucked.
Yeah, that was definitely one of those moments where I was like, Gene, you can write a lot, but you're also sort of proving why damage control needs this.
Correct.
Uh,
Again, being a 19-year-old, but I'm like, yeah, they may not be wrong.
oh man. I think the last thing before we go to the box office, do we just think this is how we're going to introduce X-Men? We're just going to pop them in one at a time and then do an
I
X-Men movie?
feel
And
like,
mutants, it's the
I
easiest
mean,
way to just be like, mutants are here.
they're
The
here.
mutant gene
Yeah,
started.
like we're putting them on the board. Like, I mean, I don't feel like we don't have any other movies to sort of throw them in before we get to like the X-Men. So I feel like Jean's going to sort of be the precursor, and then we have Miss Marvel
I was
also
going to say,
being
we
a
also have
mutant.
Miss Marvel.
So we already have a couple of them on the board. I think then eventually we're going to sort of build up that X-Men team. Now,
Yeah.
what's going to be interesting is that like they're casting for the X-Men. Does Amani Miss Marvel get a be in that? Like since she's technically
Well, she's also
the
building the Young
mutant?
Avengers.
Yeah,
Um, I think this is kind of where we go. There's just a lot in the MCU right now.
there is. But I also think Imani is too, she cares about this too much and is too good in the role to kind of keep her on the show for as long as they've been keeping.
Right.
Like she needs to be in something. Yeah.
Yeah. No. Yeah. She was in the Marvels. And you got to figure that means at least by, because we don't have casting for Secret Wars. We only have it for
No,
Doomsday.
correct.
So you got to figure Secret Wars is where like Captain Marvel and Miss Marvel get reunited with,
Yeah.
I just blanked on her name. Oh my God.
Photon.
Thank you. And
Yeah.
because she's stuck with Beast,
With
and
Beast. Right.
we're obviously going to go see that.
Correct.
So you have to imagine that that's coming as well. But it will be very interesting now that we've introduced the idea of a mutation. We've introduced Jean Grey.
And I think this
It
movie does a
definitely
good
brings up a
job.
Magneto question.
And I think this movie does a good job of like when we get to the X-Men, what happened here can make you can understand why people might be a little skittish towards mutants if
Right.
this is happening. Like it automatically there then creates this uh verified and unverified reason why you might be afraid of mutants based on what has occurred in this film.
Oh, and we added adamantium, didn't we? That was Cap
Yeah,
4
that was
with
in
the
Cap 4
elemental
with the
statue.
and
Yeah,
the yeah, yeah.
man. There's I really need to go back and rewatch a lot of these.
Yeah.
So they're coming, and we do have Samara Weaving. We have a director.
Mhm.
It is
Which is
going to be
pitch perfect casting
interesting.
for Samara.
I
Like
love it.
that's
I'm
I
so
love it.
happy.
Love it so much. Yeah.
I like the rumor. Did they debunk Adam Driver Magneto, or is that still a
They're
maybe?
saying
Okay.
Adam's attached, but I think it's sounding more like Sinister than it is for Magneto, which
Either work for me.
yes. Yeah, I'm good either way. Yeah.
That's the only challenge with being like the X gene just showed up and they're here now is getting the
Characters that are
Magnetos and Xaviers and
correct.
the people who are older.
You're
Unless you
gonna
do
have to
just want
do
to be
some
like they've
more.
been here forever in
Correct.
hiding.
Yeah, which age appropriateness they can look whatever Magneto
Yeah.
specifically can look however old. Yeah.
Oh, and on to our wonderful little box office. Holy shit.
Jesus.
So we're back.
Damn. I look, I think people knew it was going to be high because No Way Home was high. No Way Home had the sort of hidden known thing of like the other Spider-Man are here. This didn't have that. And like, yeah, Hulk's a part of it. This is just Spider-Man, and people were like, yo, we're hungry. Like we want it. Like
Yeah.
you've kept us at bay for long enough now. We're here, and man, and to do this without IMAX screens is nuts.
That is, yeah, one of the things because we're sitting at 355 million, the second biggest opening domestically of all time behind Endgame at 357 million, a real Ford versus Ferrari photo finish.
Right. Yeah, and that still
Uh,
could change because like when Sunday numbers come on, they could report higher. But as of now, it's
we
355. Yeah.
so Brand New Day was in 4,487 theaters Endgame was in 4,662. So there's some of that IMAX situation
Hmm.
that we know isn't happening. There is also then inflation's changed. 2019, the average cost of a ticket was like $9. Now it's like 16. So there's a lot in the numbers to look at. Either way, it's fantastic.
It's
To be
nuts.
this close to $1 billion worldwide in three
It
days is
and
great.
that's sans China,
Right.
which we know China loves their Spider-Man. So this is insanity. Like I haven't seen anything like this. We talk about the movie business needing a jolt. This an Odyssey, but this is a jolt. Like this is a drop kick to the face. This is insane how big these numbers are.
I mean, we talked about it a handful of times now, but we are definitely at the like most recovery we've had since everything shut down between
Hmm.
Backrooms, Obsession, this, Odyssey,
And Toy Story,
Project Hail
like,
Mary, Toy Story.
yeah,
There have been so many things, and it is very funny to now kind of be close-ish to the end of summer. Like now we're gonna have that like August fall, and then
kind of like
Dune and Doomsday,
correct.
and it's.
Yeah,
I also think now with this not having the IMAX screens, I am less worried
about
about Doomsday and
Doomsday.
Dune.
Yeah,
I am kind of now like, okay, yeah, we can
mm,
actually do this because I
this
get
can
that it's
happen.
week 3 for the Odyssey, but it is still week 3 for the
And I
Odyssey.
feel like the audiences for those movies are about this, like Dune, Odyssey share about the same audience, whereas Marvel has the same audience. Like they're different type of film because Dune doesn't reach the families, and that's sort of what's happened with Spider-Man. Odyssey was huge, but it was more for an adult audience. The kids and family audiences have been sort of like, we haven't had our summer thing yet, and this was it, and Jesus.
Yeah, I think if Doomsday hits, which I kind of think it will, and then we get this whole year off and Secret Wars is huge, then it really is just
Secret
like,
Wars,
yeah, cool.
yeah,
We had
quality
maybe
versus
a
quantity. Like, slow down.
we had a
Yeah,
5 year you guys put
over
out too much and
oversaturation
yeah,
point. Yeah,
but it can rebound. It's funny because we do this so often of like some like Supergirl dips and we're like fatigue and then Spider-Man
right.
makes 1 billion and we're like no
Like,
fatigue.
right.
And there's yeah, which is it's
I
so
mean, I
funny
think
to me.
quality to, I mean, like this has a 95 something critically, 98 something fan wise, a cinema score. Like, this is just a film that people are responding to quite
It's
well.
Spider-Man.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's you can't really compare this maybe only to like Batman.
right.
Like this
Yeah, those
is
are
these are
the
global huge
correct.
brands that everybody knows.
Yeah.
I'm very excited for more. I am kind of now. I walked to that theater and I was like, "Tell me Spider-Man's in one of the Avengers movies," and then
Right.
announced
As like
Spider-Man Five.
just sneak them into Doomsday. I don't care. Like, yeah,
And I
you don't have to
want Tom
announce them.
Holland to stop teasing me and doing interviews where he's like, "I'll do this for the rest of my life," and then the next day being like, "I could just not do five."
They could hand this off to someone. Like, pick one. Your Spider-Man
It
picked a
is.
lane. You do it too.
I want Miles so badly, but I don't think I'm ready to be done with Tom Holland's now.
I don't, correct. And I think I also want,
Now they both can
I,
exist, obviously. You can
I
have both
want
of those
when
movies.
he gets out of Secret Wars and does his own thing, I do want one Spider-Man. But we got it with, which is why I think I like Far From Home more than most people. I want him to have one with a villain that's in his universe that's like his one of his main villains. Like give him an Ock or like give him one of his even if you don't do Ock because we've already like Mr. Negative. That's a character we haven't seen. Give him a villain that's his and his alone that he has to sort of go up again. That's the one thing that I kind of would left for Holland before we kind of wipe him out to go to the next.
I would like him to have a proper Goblin. I would like
Yeah,
a not
like
Tobey Maguire's
non
Green
correct.
Goblin. I
Yeah,
I think the MCU needs Osborn. I really
agreed.
do. I think that is the big bad they were just not having.
Yeah,
And I've said it 1,000 times on older podcasts where like if it were up to me after Thanos and Endgame, it would have been
give
Dark
him.
Avengers,
Yeah,
Osborn makes the team, and then the story would have been Peter getting everybody to go fight what he knows is going to be bad. And we
correct.
kind of did that with Julia Louis Dreyfus, but not.
Right.
What I really
Yeah,
wanted was Bullseye as Hawkeye, Matt Gargan as Spider Man, Iron Patriot is back, and
yeah,
then somebody has to go assemble that team to fight them.
yeah.
Asgard's already pulled out of the sky. We don't even have to do that. It's already there. We don't even
Correct.
have to do it. But no. All right, that is our show, everybody. Thank you so much for listening. You can, of course, leave us a comment and let you know what you think, or leave us a review on the podcast. Terrence runs our Hollywood Already Did It YouTube channel with trailer reactions and show reviews. You can also find us on TikTok and Twitter at Hollywood ADI and Hollywood Already Did It. I'm at As Always Blake. Terrence is at Terrence Tatum, and we will see everybody next time.
Later.